Hey guys, out here today. So this video is going to be about business, not just about sales. And like once I started this a year and a half ago, I see like this all these courses out there on the internet, right? There's like Iman Gadzhi, there's Jordan Platten, there's Charlie Morgan, there's lots of there's Joan Kaplan, there's Alex Hormozy, there's like all of these guys out there. And I do think those courses are like a good thing, but it's like a very different world. It's a very different world, like the entrepreneur world, because you learn to think in like a bigger way. Like you instead of like being a cog of the society, you're making the machine in a way. So it's a very different thing, and it's very eye-opening. It's a very cool journey, but at the same time, sometimes it feels like really weird as well, because there's all those like younger people on the internet that are making like 10K a month, 100K a month. Like there's even several people that are like 23 years old that are like making millions every month. So it's so weird. Like they do that in like 4 years. I don't understand how they do that. Like obviously I know there's going to be a lot of determination behind that, but I don't know. I don't feel, it feels so unreal. I've been doing this for 1.5 years right now, and it's crazy. But yeah, the thing is like, in my opinion, if you want like wealth, if that's something you want, then I do think you need to be like business minded. Because like if you do sales, like there are people that start in like an agency, and then eventually they do like they transition to sales. And that can be like a thing for some people, because like it's a quicker way, right? It's just one thing. And people who are into sales, like usually they work for people who have like a brand, and they have like inbound leads coming in. I'm not saying it's easy. It's definitely not easy, but it's a lot easier than trying to convince someone that's completely cold onto your own offer, right? If you're doing sales for a proven offer and for people who already want that offer. So, I mean, that's a lot easier to convince than someone who is just cold. But apart from that, I think the biggest reason why I don't want to get on a sales offer is because, it's just a totally different game. Business is much more foundational. It's much more the whole picture, and sales is just one aspect of it. So like if you want to get really good at sales, you'll make a lot more wealth than most people, and you're going to really develop your communication skills, which are probably the biggest asset of it. But you're going to be capped at like 30, 50, like at most like 100K every month in sales, which is like pretty fucking good. But if you compare it to what like business owners can make, then like obviously you want to get into business. So yeah. And also like the other thing about business is that you learn that local business owners, it's a big difference with like online entrepreneurs. Like I don't even really think that local business owners, like typically they don't have the entrepreneur mindset. There are some who do, but most of them don't. They don't know much about advertisement. They don't know much about sales. Usually they're just thinking about getting the capacity that they can fulfill, and then they don't think beyond that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that per se. Some people want a more, not everyone is into entrepreneurship, but I do notice like the real entrepreneurs, you'll find them online. They're the ones who are building like e-commerce, dropshipping, even sales, marketing agency, SaaS, things like that. Like those are like the real entrepreneurs these days. And like I didn't know that when I started because I still had like this idea in my mind of like business owners and like factories and maybe like chains of shops in real life. And that still can be a thing. But the thing is like nowadays, most of the time they're like online entrepreneurs. They're the ones making the most money because they can scale their offer like the quickest and they have more access to people because they're online. But yeah, like it's a world of difference. The mindset is so different as well. And the more you do these courses, the more like your mindset shifts and you can meet people along the way. And then it's like your standards improve. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna find success, but I think if you can like stick with it and if you push through, at the very least, you'll learn a lot, right? But if you want to push through, you want to, because I'm in a stage right now where I feel like I've been learning a lot, but it's not enough. I need to get shit done, man. I need to get shit done. I need to get my business working. And so that's frustrating because it can take a long time. And you want to have like the mindset where you have patience and you build, but at the same time, you don't want to fucking take 10 years to just build a functional business. You want to have something, you want to have a system that's generating you wealth. So that can be difficult sometimes, where you have to like have the patience, but at the same time get after it. And that can be difficult. So yeah. So if you want to get good at business, there's a lot of paths you can take. Well, there's only like a few very popular business models, which I just named. But still, there's a lot of paths you can take. If you do e-commerce, you're gonna have to be good at. You'll need to understand some theory, and you'll need to get good at marketing, mostly. If you do an agency, you're gonna have to get good at sales, at communication, and then partly marketing as well. And I would say like those are like the two biggest differences you can do. Either get really good at the marketing or either get really good at the sales. Right? And then you still have your theory that's offer specific and the things you learn that are offer specific. And then there's like little things you can learn along the way. But like the biggest thing, it's going to be sales and it's going to be marketing. That's how you're going to get the most results. And that's like the two different approaches. Like even if you're building like a SaaS, if you want to build a SaaS from scratch, if you want to bootstrap it, you're going to have to do a lot of cold calls because you're going to have to figure out the market, find out like what type of software they need. And it's going to take a lot of offer validation. And like it's going to be easier to get your first clients if you do SaaS because they're like smaller clients. But you think SaaS is going to be about programming 24/7 and like maybe like product design and things like that. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be a part of that, but mostly it's going to be cold calling and offer validation, which is sales. And sure, like after a while, the programming will become more and more important, but like the foundation, it's always going to be sales and marketing. It's a foundation of any business. So yeah, and like let's say that you want it to be a bit fancy, you know, there's obviously you can kickstart things, you can go to like investors and things like that, and it's a little bit of a different approach. Or you could have like an enterprise sale, which is still sales, but like it's a bit different. So there's like a little bit different approaches you can take. But at the end of the day, it comes down to sales and marketing. Yeah. So yeah, I made some videos today. I hope you guys learned it. Let me know if there's something you found enjoyable or something I can talk about that you would like to know from me, because then I could like give you more specific things and I could help you maybe with something that you want advice on. So anyway, guys, hope you have a nice day. I am out here. Cheers.